Today, talking average rate of change, and we've talked a lot this year about we are taking a lot of concepts we know in the past and taking them a step up into this world of pre-calculus. Well, one of those things is average rate of change. You've done average rate of change before. You just called it slope before, and it looked in a slightly simplified version. Average rate of change. Now, what average rate of change is taking 2 points anywhere on a graph, drawing the line that would connect them, called a secant line, not something you need to know, but it is true. It is called a secant line. And it's finding the slope of the line that connects the 2 points. Your formula in pre-calc for average rate of change looks fancy. It's your slope formula, but instead of writing y2 and y1, it uses the function notation. So it says f of x2 minus f of x1 over x2 minus x1. If you like that, great, or continue to think of it as slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. The only thing that's going to change from what we did in our warm-up today is you have to do a little bit of work to figure out y2 and y1. I'll tell you what x's are. You got to go find y, and then you put it into your slope formula. But that's all that's different. So it's one extra step, and then something you already know how to do. All right, anyone still want this page? So here's what a question for average rate of change will look like. Find the average rate of change, which we are now going to read, find the slope, right? The average rate of change of the function f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 4x plus 6 on the interval from negative 3 to negative 1. This is the part you're going to look for. They're going to tell you the interval that this is happening on. That is the x's for our 2 points. Okay, whatever interval they tell us is the x's. So I go draw my 2 points, negative 3 comma something, and negative 1 comma something. Okay, the interval they tell me is the x's. And then the somethings, the y values for those, come from plugging it into our function. And again, that's old news to us. To find my y value, if x equals negative 3, I plug it into my function and figure out what f of negative 3 is. So go up to your function and plug that in. While you guys are typing that into your calculator, because I'm not going to grab mine, remember you have several options at this point. You can type in each individually. Just go plug negative 3 into each of your x's and hit enter. You could go type this into y1 and look at your table. You could go type this into y1 and look at the graph and trace x equals negative 3, trace x equals negative 1. You've got lots of options for evaluating functions now. But ultimately, that's what we need to do. Evaluate the function for negative 3 and evaluate the function for negative 1. What? I know. It goes really fast. Especially knowing that you have to do this more than once. And that way, I don't have to type in the function twice. I type it in one time and go look at the table, right? So what is the answer at negative 3? Negative 24 and at negative 1. All right. OK, now it's back to the beginning of today. I give you you now found 2 points, right? Put it into your slope formula. That is average rate of change, the slope between those 2 points. Order does not matter, but whichever one you start with, you got to start with in the top and the bottom of the fraction. So 0 minus negative 24 over negative 1 minus negative 3 would give me 24 over 2, or an average rate of change of 12. Slope of the secant line between those 2 points is 12. Questions on average rate of change? Hence why we did some review at the beginning, because that's it. Okay, so do one without me. All right, you guys are on your own for this one. If you need help or want those calculator tricks or anything, I will come around and help. Nope. Come test time, which is 3 school days from now, people tend to forget this one. I don't know why, because we don't have to practice it much because it's easy, but then we don't practice it much because it's easy and we forget it because we didn't practice it much. So don't forget it, okay? Go back and look at this one real quick before your test. It's a simple process. We just got to remember because there's a little trick to, okay, what are that 2 and 5 supposed to start us doing? Well, that's starting each of our ordered pairs, right? 2 comma something, 5 comma something. And we got to figure out that part of it. That's the key piece to being able to find the slope between those points. All right, you guys help me out here. 2 comma what? -4, 5 comma? All right. Slope, 62 minus -4 over 5 minus 2, 66 over 3, or a slope of average rate of change of 22. Questions? Again, not a lot of practice, so you're going to notice on your assignment today, it'll be kind of some mixed stuff that we did yesterday, along with a couple of these now average rate of change problems.